Welcome, Supreet. Thank you for coming all the way from Chandigarh. Supreet, I need to ask you, it was a road accident and followed by medical negligence that led to you losing, your leg. But what is it really that spurred you on to, go on to a dance reality show of that nature and caliber and win it?
एक्चुअली जब मेरा एक्सीडेंट हुआ था तो डांस तो मैं पहले से ही करती थी। तो मैंने जब मैं बेड पे थी, बहुत ही ज़्यादा क्रिटिकल कंडीशन थी मेरी, तो मैंने इंडियाज़ गॉट टैलेंट में ही विनोद ठाकुर जी को डांस करते हुए देखा, जिनकी दोनों लेग्स नहीं हैं, तो वो डांस कर रहे थे। तो तभी मेरे अंदर भी एक जुनून पैदा हुआ कि अगर वो कर सकते तो मैं भी करके दिखाऊंगी और एक टांग पे सबको दिखाऊंगी कि मैं क्या कुछ नहीं कर सकती।
हमें ये भी पता है कि आप एक्सीडेंट के पहले डांस नहीं जानती थी, आपने उसके बाद सीखा, तो ये कैसे आपकी जर्नी के बारे में थोड़ा बताइए।
नहीं, एक्सीडेंट के पहले डांस करती थी, पर एक्सीडेंट के बाद जब मैंने एक टांग पे स्टार्ट किया डांस करना तो इतना ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथ नहीं था एक लेग में, तो उसके लिए मैंने बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रगल किया। मैंने योगा, जिम सब कुछ ज्वाइन किया ताकि मेरे अंदर मैं ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग हूँ और एक टांग पे मैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डांस कर सकूँ। तो 1 साल लगा मुझे पूरा रेडी होने के लिए।
I also want to ask you कि आपके साथ एक there was a man who stood by you through thick and thin and वो आपका बहुत बड़ा support रहे हैं और हमने सुना है कि you've tied the knot with him, आपकी अभी शादी हुई है last month, तो उनके बारे में कुछ बताइए, कैसे मिले, कैसे उन्होंने आपको support किया?
एक्चुअली मैं उनके जिम में ही जाती थी, उनके जिम में ही मैं एक्सरसाइज करती थी, तो वो मुझे हर टाइम मोटिवेट करते थे कि अगर मुझ में हिम्मत नहीं रहती थी एक्सरसाइज करने की, तब भी वो मुझे मोटिवेट करते थे कि करो, तुम कर सकती हो। और बहुत ही ज़्यादा केयरिंग है, लविंग है और सबसे बड़ी बात कि वो बहुत ही हार्ड वर्किंग है, जो मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगा उनमें, तो इसीलिए मैंने सोचा कि मैं उनके साथ शादी करूँगी।
Congratulations, many congratulations there. And I also want to ask you, कोई आप मैसेज देना चाहती हैं और लड़कियों को जिनके पास आपके जैसा एक कोई ड्रीम हो, सपना हो?
जी, मैं सबको यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आपका कोई सपना है तो उसे पूरा करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो लाइफ है वो एक बार मिलती है, आपको बार बार नहीं मिलेगी वो। तो इसी लाइफ में आप वो अपने सारे सपने पूरे करो जो आप चाहते हो। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you very much. And I would also like you to unveil a cover. आपके साथ. How lovely you look. Congratulations. On your right. Thank you. Congratulations. Up next is another stopper bill from our list. She's a film professional who has worked with one of India's biggest cinematic geniuses, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, on most of his films. Sangeeta is also hearing impaired. Can we have our next unstoppable up on the stage? Welcome, Sangeeta. Sangeeta, your story touches our hearts in a lot of ways. From being, from being somebody that Sanjay Leela Bhansali only wants to work with today as the assistant director, how much do you think you have achieved in the last few years? Your achievements?
I have achieved so much. When I have achieved so much when I was 6 years old. My dream was to work in film. But people say, no, you can't. You are a tip. You can't. I want to work in the film. But then I played lost the dream. I played lost the dream. I got the opportunity to work with Sanjay Ramasani for Kamusi. That is our first film. And then I thought Kamusi was the first and the last film. But Sanjay noticed that I can do much more. Then he calls me for the stars. As a director, I've gone through a lot of problems there. I have to fight and always fought and always.
She was 6 when she had this dream. She wanted to act. She was born in a family where her father at first didn't want a girl child. And when he saw her face, he fell in love with her. And that's where her journey and her struggle really began. She continued to strive ahead for her dream. And she managed to bag an assignment for the movie that Sanjay Leela Bhansali at that point was directing, which was Khamoshi. Going forward, he realized that this was a really talented assistant as well. Congratulations. Thank you. We have Divya Pam. Good to have you here.
Thank you. It's very humbling to be here, actually.
Fabulous to have you here. So tell me, the glamour world, as we all know, is unrelenting. It is a cruel world. When you shaved off her hair, what was the first reaction?
The first time or the third time? Or well, when I was 20, it was hard. I mean, it seemed like I had people say to me, has she lost it? And seems that last year when I went bald, still people say, has she lost it? So I guess you just got to do what you got to do.
Correct, absolutely. And so what is it about you and hair? Why do you shave off your hair? Is this the sense of freedom you get? Is there a sense of liberation?
It's a lot of different things. It's initially when I was younger, it started as just a very simple, if I can't do it at 20, when will I have the guts to do it? Then it became, when I was 30 and I did it, it was, why am I tied down to things like money, looks, will I get a job, or what will the modeling industry think of me? Will I find a man? You know, all of those things. And when I did it last year, it was purely spiritual. And I truly believe that a spiritual journey has started. And yeah, so that's about
Perfect.
it.
So that is the evolution of the really beautiful, but defiant, and a liberated woman. So you really are unstoppable. Give me that one unstoppable trait in you that maybe your mother wanted to tear her hair out for, something that drove her right up the wall, but that stayed with you.
I think when I was about 3, my parents realized that I was someone who would always do what I wanted to do, and if I was told not to do something, then I would rebel and do it and learn, fall, break my head, whatever, and pick those pieces up myself and do it. So I think they just let me be.
Fabulous. Very nice to have you here. We will unveil a cover with you. Can we have the cover, please? Thank you. Let's see you in a bit. So there they were, Femina's Unstoppables. But there's one more from the league. Ladies and gentlemen, give us some time. We have a little surprise for you. In 2 minutes, you will see the little surprise we've set up for you.
Wow, that's a lot of flashbulbs. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, braving the rains and the traffic. It took me an hour to come here from Andheri. God. Well, I'm here to share some things with you. Well, you know me. I'm a Delhi girl, and I always wanted to be an actor. But you know, it was something that, I don't know, even I took a very long time to sort of admit it to myself. Because, I mean, I could just hear the Delhi aunties clucking their tongues and going like, Beta, it's not a very suitable thing for you to do. I mean, after all, a girl is supposed to behave in a manner that is appropriate to her surroundings. You see, I was middle class, I was little academically inclined, head girl, etc., came from a conservative family. I mean, hardly the trappings of a Bollywood heroine, right? And then, of course, when all of us grew up, what was the first toy that we sort of acquire? All the ladies in the room, your first toy? Barbie doll, right? Well, yeah, and at age 5, when you get your first Barbie, it just sort of sets the yardstick for you for life. Perfection. That's what the world, that's what everyone around you tells you to do all the time. But you know, in my journey from that Delhi girl to now sitting here chatting with you, I figured something out for myself. I figured out that, and it's very profound, I figured out that Barbie can be dusky. I figured out that Barbie can be black. I figured Barbie can wear a t-shirt with holes, Barbie can run, she can bake, and if you send out Barbie to play cricket, she can hit a 6. I figured out that I could be Barbie. Really? Okay, hang on. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet or anything, but I'm pretty for, like, you know, by conventional standards. And when I say that, I'm very well aware of the weight of that statement. But, I mean, it's not like, you know, the fact that I'm an actress or I love my body or my face. Those are not things I love about myself. I love the fact that maybe I have crooked teeth, you know, my front 2 teeth sort of overlap. A scar I have on my leg, which I got from playing with my brothers, or that I have hobbit feet. Yes, this is the first time admission to exceptionally large feet. Okay, don't photograph them. Okay, yeah, I know, that's where you're going. No pictures of feet. Okay, go ahead, whatever. But, you know, the fact that I love movies. I've always loved watching movies. I've grown up watching them. They've sort of brought the magic alive, and now I'm a part of movies, and it's honestly, it's amazing. And as an actor, every single day, there's so much scrutiny about my hair, what am I wearing, I should have worn leggings, not flared pants, etc. It's crazy, but hey, at least I signed up for it, right? that's not just for actors, for everybody, every woman out here. Okay, let me ask you all. Every woman here, me included. Now let's be honest, ladies. Haven't you all, once in your life, looked at another woman who's done nothing wrong with you, who said nothing bad to you, you've looked at her and said, that skinny woman eats all the garbage she wants to eat, anything that comes across her way, and oh my God, she does not put on an ounce. God, please, dear God, just make her wake up one single day and just make her just really fat. We've done that, right? We've done that, right? Come on, I want to hear some applause, a cheer if you've done that ever in your life. Once I've done it, I'm sure you have. There you go. And you know why you've done that? You've done that because we constantly are bombarded, with messages from movies, from TV shows, ads, magazine covers, for crying out loud, by just perfection. That there's only one definition of a perfect you. And guess what? Nobody fits in. Not one of us. We're constantly taught not to love ourselves. But today has been so amazing. It's been really amazing for me because I was back then, I was listening to all this, and I and all of us have seen, heard, experienced such amazing women. Women who didn't sit around waiting for the world to judge or to approve of them. They didn't need anybody else's permission. They just went out there and lived their lives. Full, rich lives. They taught themselves to love who they were. Bahar mein jaye, all the perceptions and all the perceived flaws that we're supposed to have. They didn't need anybody to give them anything. They just took it. Carpe diem. Seize the day, right? Because you already know what the world wants you to be. The world wants you to be 6'2", size 0, size -2 or -3 or whatever the new fancy eating disorder we are promoting this week, And women should be seen, not heard. Speak when spoken to. They want your complicit silence. But you know what the world really wants? What the world really needs? It needs your voice. Your honest, beautiful, unique voice. Just like the voices we heard today. Just like the stories we heard today. Thank you so much for sharing all your stories, all your experiences. It's just been so enriching. Thank you, Femina, because it's so amazing that you're trying to set better examples, better role models for all of us, for young girls to look up, to follow. I just think that's just really cool. Isn't it? I think that's damn cool. Yeah, you could be any size, any age, skin color, hair texture, social, cultural, political background, even disability. And yet they're so beautiful, so unstoppable. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've showed us that when we learn to love, my favorite poet. Thank you for listening to me so patiently. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care.